Hey, what's going on? This is Jesse Ecker, Managing Director for Harv Ecker International, and welcome to this Facebook Live on T. Harv Ecker's fan page. I'm going to be your trainer today and super excited to be here and be with you guys. Now, I want to say something up front so that no one feels like we're being out of integrity or anything like that. I want to let you know that this video right now is not live. It is pre-recorded, and there's a really good reason for that. And I want to share that reason with you. So there is a chance that I might actually be in the hospital right now during this Facebook Live. And the reason for that is because this Facebook Live was scheduled to go out very, very close to when my wife, Jen, was supposed to give birth to our first baby boy. So this is a really exciting time for me, and we really also wanted to make sure that you got this video. And so we did this Facebook Live for you. We said we were going to do it, and we want to make sure that we honored that. Now, the reason why we didn't just create a video for you and put it online so that you could just view it is because Facebook Lives are special. They are great because there's a whole big group of you now coming in and watching this. There's a bunch of people coming in and seeing this video, and it's like a community watching this video together. So Facebook Lives are special as for participation and energy and commenting and being engaged and listening and sharing this video. So we really wanted to make sure that we put this on Facebook Live so that we could get that experience, so our community could go through this together, because we have a really important topic we're talking about today: financial freedom. And I know from talking from so many of our students all the time, this is the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to be financially free, to be able to work if you choose to be able to feel, stress-free around money, to be able to just know that you have this security in your hand of money situation as far as money goes. So really wanted to make sure that we gave this topic to you. Now, for those who don't know me, the obvious is I am Harv's son, and what's great about that is obviously I've had T. Harv Ecker as my dad, obviously, through my whole life. So I've got to experience things that most people don't get to experience. And I've had the blessing, and I'm very grateful for being able to do that. He's taught me so many core values in my life, and principles and strategies and methods that I've been able to use throughout my life, and especially in my later years in my 20s and 30s, to help me become what I've become today. And at 31, I have a net worth over $1 million. So what he teaches works, and that's the backbone of what I want to share with you, because everything that he teaches, I've learned from him. I've been a sponge to him. He's done a great job of not handing me things, but making sure that I'm doing the things that he would do, and I've just been following that. So that's been a great opportunity for me. Also, working with him for the last 7.5 years, it's been an amazing opportunity to study under him as far as what he would teach his students, exactly what he would say if questions came up, the exact principles, and just working hand in hand with him on all the different topics that he teaches. I feel very well equipped to pass that knowledge on to our students, especially the times that Harv can't do it himself. So it's our mission together to share his information more to the world and get more people exposed to this information, so that more people become financially free, so more people live a life in courage and can really, really take action to create the life that they really want. They're not feeling stuck in where they are. They're feeling that they own their life, they create their life, and they're able to make whatever they want out of life come to reality. So it's our mission to be able to share that knowledge with you. It's my mission to share his knowledge and a little bit of my own as well, to help you guys in your life to, for today at least, get closer or on track to becoming financially free. So if that's okay with you, put in the comments hell yeah, or yes, or I love it, so that people can participate, so that I know you're engaged, so that people in the community are doing it together. And if you are doing that, I appreciate it, and thank you so much. Also, feel free to throw me some likes, throw me some hearts, share this video with your friends and family if you feel like it's something that's share worthy. But I'm gonna do my best to give you as much information and content as possible over some of these questions that we got asked. And I'm gonna do that with you for as long as it takes. So obviously I can't answer anything live, as I explained, but I'm gonna be answering the questions. We did a post on Harv's Facebook page and some of our private communities, and we got some amazing questions that I really wanna share them with you, all right? Now here's a really important thing. So these questions can be a little specific. And some of you might be thinking, okay, well, how does that relate to me? Or like, why does that relate to me? And so I wanna let you know that the mindset going into this is not if this relates to me, it's how can I make it relate to me? How does this question relate to me in my life, directly or indirectly? And if it doesn't directly relate to you right now, please note that it will in the future. There's going to be a time where this is going to be very relatable to you. So understanding it and putting yourself in the position to learn and be engaged and say, how does this relate to me, is going to shift your mindset to a learning mindset, to really understanding and really activating your learning part of your brain. So remember, how does this relate to me? And go ahead and type that into the comments. How does this relate to me? How does this relate to me? Okay? Thank you so much for your participation. I really appreciate it. The community, if you're doing that, thank you so much. And I know some of you are definitely doing it, so I appreciate you guys. All right, so the first question that we had, or the first question I actually have for you, which is one that I wanted to ask you, was, and I'm going to be looking a little past you because I have on my other computer, I have some of the questions up. And I want to make sure that I want to make you to know where I'm looking. So the first question is, would you rather be rich or financially free, and are they the same thing? So put into the comments right now what you think. What do you think? Or tell me what your preference is. Would you rather be rich or would you rather be financially free? And are they the same thing? Let me know in the comments. I'll wait a second. So would you rather be rich or would you rather be financially free? And are they the same thing? Now, I'm assuming that a lot of people are putting both. And that's a good answer, right? It's a good answer because who doesn't want to be both? But the question, again, after that is, are they the same thing? Now, there's this really common misconception that once you become rich, financially rich, we're not talking about anything else of like a whole life successful. There's obviously a lot more to money, but today's topic is about financial freedom and money. So there's this misconception that if you become rich, you automatically become financially free. And this is just not true. It's really, really not true. It really depends on the person that's actually rich. So can you be financially free when you get rich? Yes. Can you not be financially free when you get rich? Yes. And here's why. There is a definition that we use for financial freedom, and it's you have to be earning more passive income than your living or desired expenses. So money coming in passively, so not actively, passively. So when you have passive income coming in, you need more passive income than active income. So my question for you is, what if someone who is very wealthy, rich, doesn't really have that much savings, right? They like to spend, and they don't have any passive income. They only have active income. So their business or their job, their income is reliant on their business or job. So what if they stop working? Are they financially free? No, they're not. They have bills to pay still. They have a life to live still. They have all these different stuff that they probably have already, that they pay on a monthly basis. So do they have savings? Most likely they have some savings. They've done a good job with that. But does that mean that they're financially free and they don't have to work again? Most likely not, right? So rich does not mean free. Rich does not mean free. Free means free. Rich can mean free, but it really depends. So here's the really, really cool part. Becoming rich or getting rich and becoming financially free are two different strategies. Very, very different strategies. To get rich and to get free are very different strategies. Now, they have some similar components, but they're actually different strategies. So here's the thing. When we talk about financial freedom, and our definition is having more passive income than your desired expenses, this goal of financial freedom for 99% of the people that we talk to is actually much closer, way closer than actually becoming rich. So if your goal is to become financially free, then you should be focusing on your freedom first. You should be focusing on going direct to freedom, directly to financial freedom. Because here's the thing, getting rich is not an easy thing. There's a reason why they call it the 2% or the 1% of population, because a very little amount of people actually become rich. But becoming financially free is not as difficult. It's actually quite simple if you look at it in terms of you just need more passive income than expenses. Now, getting that passive income takes some work, it takes some time, it takes some effort. You need to get really good at managing your money. You need to get really good at making money, and you need to invest your money. But rich and freedom are two very different things. So when we talk to our students, at least, and when we talk to our communities, most people aren't interested in becoming billionaires. They don't give a shit. They just want financial freedom. They want that choice of, do I work in this job that I don't like anymore, or what I'm doing? Do I need to do that? I have a choice now. And I feel comfortable that I can, step back and do the things that I really love. They have this freedom of knowing that when they get to the end of the times that they actually want to work, that they are not going to outlive their money, which is a big problem because life expectancy is getting longer. So people are outliving their money and they're really struggling because they don't have any of it. And the main reason is because there's this promise, this old way of doing things where it's let's work, and hopefully get rich, or work and put our money into like retirements and 401ks and self-directed 401s or Roths, IRAs and stuff like that, maxing out your retirement. And what's happening is when we get to that point, or when most people are getting to that point, yeah, they're getting their retirement funds, but it's not lasting them. And they have to minimize their life. They have to go very basic. And they've just lived their whole life trying to get to this place, and now they have to go to the basic level. No one wants to do that. Who the hell wants to do that? I don't want to do that. I know most of you don't want to do that too. So the old system, the old way is broken. And that's because there's this old promise that if you work, someday you'll be able to retire. And that's just not the reality anymore. Most people aren't able to retire. So you can either go for your rich and maybe make it, maybe not. Or you can work and go for retire, or you can set yourself up for success right now for the one goal you really probably do have and become financially free. And there's lots of different ways you can do that. But again, when you think about it, the definition is passive income is greater than your expenses. So if that's the definition and that's how you're going to become free, then you now need to become, now you need to focus on, okay, I need to know my expenses. I need to know how much passive income I need to be making, right? And that's going to really help you on your first step to becoming financially free. So I love that question. It was a great question. And it's something that is a big misconception that I think a lot of people fall into. And I know that if you understand this, and now you understand that there's two different strategies that go with it, you can now have this choice of like, okay, do I become financially free first? And is financial freedom my goal? Because what's great about becoming financially free first is once you're free, right? Once you're free. Then you have the choice of saying, hey, I really want to get rich now, so I'm going to go for rich. But at least you're free. The other way is I'm going to try to get rich. What if you don't make it? Well, now you're not even financially free. So what do you do now? So again, two different strategies, and our recommendation, especially Harv's recommendation, is first you get free, and then, only then, you make the choice of saying, hey, I want more, so I'm going to get rich as well. All right? So, does that make sense? Put in the comments if that makes sense. Put in the comments if that makes sense. Put it in the comments, hell yeah. Put in the comments saying, I am a freedom seeker. I am a freedom seeker. I love it. And give yourself a massive high five and say, I'm awesome. That's something that Harv would do. All right, cool. All right, let's go to the next question. So, let's see. So, someone had a good question here, which kind of relates to the last one. It said, how do I figure out how much I need to have to become financially free? So when we, again, think about the definition of financial freedom, our definition at least, this is our definition, is you need more passive income than your expenses. So when you want to think about how much you actually need to become financially free, you need to think about the end in mind. So you need to do some work and say, this is how many expenses this is the expenses I have right now. This is my desired expenses. Here's, over time, some of the things that might be coming up that I probably want to be able to cover, and give yourself some rough estimates. Figure that all out. That number comes out to, $10,000 a month, $5,000 a month. Well, then you need to earn more passive income than $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. And remember, it's not just, there's tax on top of that. So you need to be earning a little bit extra. So one thing that we have created to help our students is we created this thing called this Financial Freedom Calculator. It's a free worksheet that I'm gonna ask my team to put into the comment section right now. That's all you need to put is your name and email, and then you get access to this worksheet, and then you fill it out, and then we kind of guide you through the questions so that it's really easy for you to fill out this calculator, and then you come up with your number. Once you come up with your number, then you can stick that on your desk, on your wall, wherever it is, so that you can start focusing on it. Because as Harv says, what you focus on expands, all right? And what you track, you achieve. So if you're focusing on what your goal is, constantly looking at it, focusing on it, and create a plan to getting there, there's a much better chance of you actually achieving it than, let's just say, someone who has no idea what this freedom number is, your financial freedom number. I want to become free. Well, how much do you need to become free? Well, I don't know. Well, to me, when I think of financial freedom, and when I think most people think of financial freedom, is they think of it like this big, grandiose idea of like, wow, this number needs to be massive. But we just covered that the number doesn't actually need to be massive. So when you break it down and you put it into this format where you actually can see how close you actually are, and many of you are probably much closer than you ever thought. So if you actually think how close you actually are to achieving this, and it's more realistic to you, then you're gonna start now taking more action towards getting it. But when it's like this idea of financial freedom, it feels so big, right? But it's really not that much when you really think of it. Obviously, it's gonna take some time to get there, but $1 million versus, $6,000 passive income, well, one seems a lot easier to get than the other, doesn't it? $1 million for a lot of people, that seems very out of reach. $6,000 in passive income, well, that seems a little bit more achievable. Now you start becoming creative, start learning more about passive income, start, finding resources, learning, educating yourself, figuring out how you get there, right? Now, $6,000 is a much easier number comprehensible to many people than, $1 million. So that's how you can figure it out. Again, I want my team to put the link to be able to figure out that number for yourself. It's a free worksheet that we put together. We guide you through it to make it really easy for you. And go ahead, take your time. Again, it's not about the exact numbers here. You don't have to be so meticulous, like, I need to look this up, and then you never do it, right? You generally want to start thinking about this in rough terms. You kind of know what you're doing, and you come up with this, estimate number. At least you have it. And then you can always do it again in more meticulous, detailed way if you really want to. All right. Put one hand up. Give yourself a massive high five and say, I'm on a path to become financially free. I'm on a path to become financially free. All right. Thank you so much for your participation. You're awesome. I appreciate it. And I hope you're enjoying this so far. This is awesome. I'm enjoying this. This is an amazing topic, one that is near and dear to my heart, obviously. It's the goal for so many of our students. You know, most people really, again, don't want to become billionaires, 100 millionaires. For some people they do, but most people don't. They want to just become free. So I'm happy to talk about this and share this information with you. All right. Next question. How do I keep our values, enthusiasm, or motivation to be sharp no matter how high the debt is or how low the bank account is? All right, so it's a really good question because the first thing here is I totally get what it's like to be in debt and to have a low bank account and feel like stuck, feel like you can't make a dent, and everything that you make goes out to paying some sort of debt or to expenses, and you just don't have any extra money to use for yourself. You're really living either you're living really, really basic and minimalistic to what you want to be living, or you're trying to continue the lifestyle that you're living and you're going and piling up more and more debt. And so, you know, this is not a feeling anyone wants to be in, and it's a feeling that it just doesn't just go away. Like, you know, you're thinking about it every day. Like, you're waking up to like another day, a bill comes in, another bill comes in, something happens, how much is that going to cost me? You own a house, you know, something breaks, you don't want to fix it because you don't have the extra expenses. This stuff is just, it's with you, it's heavy, and this is what causes a lot of stress with a lot of people. So our goal with these types of videos and information is to help make sure that you understand how to get out of this and how to get momentum to move out of this this feeling or the situation that you're in. So the first thing that's obviously really, really important to this is you have to make a plan. You got to make a plan on how you're going to start taking action and getting out of this situation. Most people, you know, wait and see, and they take this approach of, you know, it hopefully will change, and that's just not a very intelligent approach when it comes to creating your own life. See, we are the masters of our life. We control our movements, we control our actions. Sitting and waiting for things to happen is what unsuccessful people do. Making shit happen is what successful people do. That's why they're successful, because they make shit happen. Okay? Happens. They make shit happen. So you got to make a plan. You got to make a plan for what do I need to do, right? What's the one thing that you can do over the next week that's going to start moving you in the right direction, all right? So the number one thing that we see people in this situation that struggle in this type of situation is they just have no plan. They have no way of getting from where they are right now out of their situation and moving into the next phase of their life. And it doesn't have to be a big phase, it's just moving into the next phase. So make sure you have a plan. Now, there's two other things that I would highly recommend that you do in this situation. The first is the reason you're probably in this situation, you know, external reasons, whatever, but there's a really good chance that the reason that you're in this situation is because of your habits around money, all right? And, you know, maybe they're not as good as you want them to be. Now, I understand stuff happens, you know, people lose their jobs, people get laid off, businesses just stop working. There's a lot of other external factors, but, you know, getting to that point is a lag event. It's an event that, you know, causes a lot of stress when it happens. But during that, like from now until whatever, 10 years from now, and like you say you lost your job in 10 years from now, or 5 years ago you were doing well and now you're not doing well, well, what did you do for the 5 years, right? So blaming the actual event is something that you are more than welcome to blame, right? But it's during that time that you really had the opportunity to create those money habits to help you succeed when this happens. So maybe you didn't, create that rainy fund. Maybe you just spent more than you earned. Maybe there's all these different situations and your money habits are just not as good as they need to be. So it's really important that you create good money habits, okay? And the way that you do that is you learn from other people. You learn from people who are in the position that you want to be. Harv has this web class coming up next week, and it's going to teach people the 8 elements to becoming financially free, the 8 specific things that you need to be doing over and over and over again on an ongoing basis to put yourself on the fast track to becoming financially free. So it's really important to learn these money habits, is to learn from someone who's in the position that you want to be in. So the first thing is money habits. The second thing is really, really important. So it's really, really important that you get a win, and confidence breeds more action. And the one of the problems that we find, or struggles that our students face, is they have these big goals and they never achieve them. Like their goal is financial freedom, but they're just not there, so they're not happy about not achieving their goals. So what's really important here is that you start to micro your goals and break them out and breadcrumb them to your big goals. So what if your big goal is getting out of debt? Well, what's the breadcrumb goal that you can put right now that's going to guarantee that you're going to get a win? Okay, the first one is I'm going to create a budget of what's going to happen. That's a breadcrumb goal for me getting out of debt. It's awareness of what's going in and what's coming out, right? So getting a win under your belt is going to help keep your motivation high, because if you have a strong enough reason why you're doing what you're doing, and becoming financially free is a very strong reason, then the only reason that you're not going to be motivated to keep things going is because you're not getting the results you want in your life. So the way that you need to counteract that is to create situations where you're going to win, where you're going to build confidence, where you're going to actually create momentum so that you continue to go. Because as Newton's law says, a body in motion will tend to stay in motion. A body in rest will tend to stay in rest. So you want to get yourself into motion. You want to take action. You want to keep going. And the way that you're going to keep going is you got to build that confidence. You got to get yourself a win. So make something easy enough for you to be able to get that win, so you create what Dave Ramsey calls the snowball effect, and you just keep going, and it's like the snowball building and building and building and building and building, and now it's this big effect going on in your life. All right, so that is the 2 things that I would do to keep your motivation if things aren't going well for you, right? So there's a few things I covered. Let me summarize. The plan: getting great money habits from learning from people that are in the position you want to, and to get a win under your belt, to make it easy for you to create a breadcrumb type of goal that's super easy for you to build that confidence for you to get to where you want to go. All right? So I hope you enjoyed that. Let's put one hand up. The other hand up, say, I'm on the fast track to becoming financially free. Put that into the comments. I'm on the fast track to becoming financially free. Put that in the comments. I'm on the fast track to becoming financially free. Thank you so much. I appreciate your participation if you are participating. And let's go to the next question. All right, so this one's a really good one. So how do I best capitalize on the investments with only a small amount of money invested? So I'm holding on to slightly under $1,000 USD in cash to invest. So how do I best capitalize on investments with only a small amount to invest? And this person has about $1,000 to invest. Okay, so here are some of my own experience and things that I really want to share with you. So number one, it's really, really, really important to realize that investing is not normally, when you invest, you're not normally doing it to create wealth. You're not doing it to make your money. You're not making money in investing. If you were, then you'd be a professional investor. So if your business was being a real estate investor, that's your business. That's where you're making money. But as an investor, someone who wants to put their money into something else where they can passively make money on the side, and let their money work for them, the normal objective in most investments is not to make your big chunk of money through it. It's to grow your money, it's to compound your money, and it's to preserve your money. So thinking of investments as this way is like, oh, I'm gonna get rich from investments, that's not what's gonna happen. You are gonna create passive income, hopefully, and that's where you're gonna actually become financially free. So investing is important, but investing at a certain point of the amount of income that you have is also really important too. So understanding that you're not going to get rich from your investments, you're going to get rich from other ways, or going to make money in other ways. And the main way that you're going to do that is by, being in a business or being in a situation where you have no limits on your income, where you're not on a salary, you're not working by the hour. You are full control over the amount of money that you actually can make, or you're working on commission. So you have no limits on the amount of income that you can make. So this is how you're gonna make a lot of money, is having that opportunity to do that, okay? And once you make a lot of money, you're able to obviously invest more money and able to speed things up to becoming financially free. So that's the first thing I want everyone to all be on the same page about, all right? Now, obviously there's speculation type investments. You can, join cryptocurrency and do equities and Forex and things that are more on patterns or trends or data or whatever it is. But again, that becomes more of a job. That becomes more of a business for you, not as far as an investor. When I think about investing, I think about my money is working for me. I'm not working to make that money in the investment. I'm actually, when I'm working, my active income is coming from the business, okay? So from a business standpoint, or from my job or career or something like that. So that's the first thing. Now, what can you actually do with this $1,000? Well, one of the things is you can get experience with investing if you really want to. You can get your feet wet. There's something to say about actually getting involved in an actual investment. That is very, very different than just learning and reading and being educated about it. It's like one thing to learn how to swim, right? And there's another thing of being thrown into the water and figuring out how to swim when you're in there, right? Two different worlds. You can watch YouTube videos, you can do this as far as reading books, but when it really comes down to it, getting in the game, there's no substitute for getting in the game. So obviously, if you put the $1,000 in, you're getting in the game, you can start learning as you're going. But if you're gonna be doing that, you have to get into some low cost investments, which again is mostly more risky type stuff. It could be equities, it could be penny stocks, it could be Forex, it could be options, it could be crypto if you really want, and stuff like that. And it's not something that I highly recommend. They're highly spectacle. There's a lot of speculation. There is a lot of risk that can go with it if you don't know what you're doing, especially if you don't know what you're doing. People make a killing, but they're experts in what they do, so they really understand it. And a lot of these things you can actually paper trade with. So you can not actually spend any money. You can play with more and do more with it, so you can learn as you go. So that's one thing you can do to get your feet wet. Another thing is you can partner with another person, right, who has money, and say this person has $49,000, you have $1,000, you found them the deal, you're going to put $1,000 into that with the $50,000, and you partner with another person. So you find a person that you can partner with. That's another thing. But a lot of times when you're partnering with another person, you don't have to put any money in, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. The thing that I would probably really recommend with $1,000 is I would invest in you, right? I would invest in yourself, because when you're investing in other things, like you're putting your money to work for you, you're investing in companies, you're investing in people, right? And you can't control these people. You can't control what they're doing in their minds and what they're thinking and their actions they take, right? So there's always some sort of risk investing your money, right? That's why you have to have a specific portfolio that's diverse with different types of investments, low risk, medium risk, high risk, different allocations for each of those, because there is a risk ratio with what you're doing. So, investing in yourself, putting that $1,000 to work for you, learning a skill, learning something that's going to help expedite the amount of money that you're actually going to make, putting it into your business, something of that sort, something at that specific level is going to help you in like 1,000 times return on your investment than $1,000 in like the stock market or in some of these things I was talking about earlier, or even partnering with another person. So you're not getting that experience that I was talking about, but if you're investing yourself in learning something about the investing world, or investing yourself in doing something more in your business, you're going to see a much, much, much higher return on your investment. And that's what I would suggest that you do, is you invest in yourself, because you can control yourself. And you can control the actions you can take and not the actions that you take. You have full control of what you do. So I would bet on myself all the time over anyone else, because I know what I could do and I know what I'm capable of. And that's what I think that you definitely should do, right? All right. So hopefully that was helpful. I want you to put one hand up, the other hand up, give yourself a massive high five. Say, I'm on the fast track to financial freedom. I'm on the fast track to financial freedom. Awesome. I'm on the fast track to financial freedom. Thank you so much for your participation. Appreciate you commenting. And if you're loving this, give me a heart. If you're liking this, give me a like. If you're really, really loving this, share this with your friends. This is awesome for anyone to see. These are common questions and struggles and challenges that our students have, that lots of people have. So let's keep going here. All right, so another question. So how do I put my foot down on my husband's spending? He'll spend without thought of how much is in our checking account or what we need to use that money for. As an example, we were charged $570 in overdraft fees last month alone. His irresponsible spending has caused us so much trouble and me an incredible amount of stress. I'm done with it because I want to reach financial freedom. All right, so you're definitely not the only one that has challenges with, figuring out how to manage your money with your spouse. This is obviously a very, very common struggle that people have, and there's a few reasons for it. Now, before I go, it's really, before I get into it, it's really, really important to understand that we all have very different money personalities. So when I talk about a personality, I'm talking, are you a spender? Are you a saver? Are you an avoider? Or are you like a money monk, right? Just money is not really important to you, or it's not really on your radar. So we have these different personalities, and everyone has a different personality. So my personality is I tend to be an avoider, right? And then I also like to save. But then at certain times I like to spend. But mostly I'm an avoider, because I know that, because when I do spend the money, I won't check the bank account. I won't see what's on the bill. I dislike it, right? So I'm an avoider. You might be a saver, you might be a spender, whatever it is. There's no problem with what your personality is. The first thing that you need to understand is being aware of what your personality is. Are you a spender? Are you a saver? Are you an avoider? So what is your money personality? So identifying what your money personality is with your spouse is the first step. And that is, and then so that you're aware of what that is. So once you're aware of what that money personality actually is with your spouse, then you can easily start to create a plan with that spouse of what you need to do and put in place so that you both get on the same page as far as your money personalities working together. So the first thing you obviously need to do is you need to have a conversation and say, hey, there are certain things that you do, this is your personality, and here's how it makes me feel. Here's how it's putting, stress and all this stuff on my life, so that you understand what you're doing has consequences for what I'm doing. And my goal here is not to stop you from what you're doing, but set you up to win so that you can continue to do the things that you want to do, but also let me have my goal as far as like where I want to go, as far as my goals of financial freedom, or not being stressed out of money, or not having the irresponsibility. So for this specifically, you need to set up what we call a money management system. And our famous one that Harv teaches is called the JAR system. It's world famous. This is something that I've been using, off and on my whole life, but I stopped using it in college because I thought I was cool and my ego got the better of me. But then I started again really heavy after college, and I've been doing it. Jen and I, who's my wife, we've been together for just over 12 years. We've actually been doing it together after college because that's when I didn't get any more support from my family anymore. So I really had to take my finances seriously, obviously. We started managing our money. We have been extremely disciplined in our money management, which is why we've been able to build such a high net worth so quickly in our lives. So money management creates financial freedom. Money management creates stress-free money in your life because you have designated places for certain things. So from my own personal experience, the best thing that Jen and I have done in our lives is we obviously combine our money and our finances. But here's the thing, we didn't combine all of our money, okay? There are still separate accounts for me and for her, and we call these play accounts, okay? And so what she does with her play account and the money she has in her play account, I'm not allowed to say anything about. So if she wants to go spend it on whatever it is, I can't say anything, even though it's something that I wouldn't do, and it's something that I'm not super gung-ho about. It's not my money, it's her money to play with. And same with her on my side. If I go and have this experience and something that she would never want to spend her money on, she can't say anything because it's mine. So having this freedom of separateness, okay, separateness of these two different plays gives us this freedom to be able to not judge each other on the money. Now, the other money that we have, we manage together because we're on the same team together. So we have a designated places for each of our accounts. You know, we have vacation, we have restaurants going out, we have our necessities, we have savings, we have our financial freedom account, which is our investing account. We have all these different accounts. So the JAR system is a very famous system that Harv teaches. It teaches you the allocation method for each of the accounts. Now for this specific question, how do you stop this person from doing what they are doing and get them to be more responsible? Well, the one thing that my one suggestion here is you create an account for them. And you tell them this is your spending account and this is how much money you're gonna get every single month to spend on this specific account. This account is not linked to any of your other accounts, and there's no overdraft allowed on it. So if your husband or spouse or whoever it is overspends, they'll get declined, simply. And they can't use any other money or access any other money. So this gives them the freedom to feel okay, I'm not being held back. I can still spend on what I want to spend, but I have, a limit to where I am, and then it doesn't affect you in your other parts of your life. So one of the biggest differences that we see with people who are very successful with their money and people who are not successful from money is how they manage their money. Most people manage their money very basically, I got my spending and my savings. And that doesn't really do anything for your goals in your life, because what if your savings runs out, and what about your future, right? What about if you want to take a vacation? Where do you go about that? Do you go into your savings of your rainy day? Okay, well, what if you lose your job? Now, everything's combined. Having a combined accounts for all of your stuff is not how you manage your money effectively for you to be stress-free about money. When it comes to buying presents during holidays, you have an account specifically for that. You have an amount of money in there. You can't spend more than that amount. So you spend within it. Then you feel good about it because you didn't touch any of your other money. You don't have to not pay rent for the month or not get certain groceries. You don't have to cut back on anything because you're systematically putting money into different allocations. So the main thing here is having a money management system. And I think that's where you're gonna have the biggest solution to your problem for this specific person. And for most people, this is the problem that most people run into as being in a relationship, is managing your money together. So I really find that's really effective for us is having separate accounts on just two separate things, just so that we don't judge each other, so we don't feel bad, there's no resentment. Because, when it really comes down to it, she if there's something that she doesn't think that, I should have bought, that's going to cause tension within our relationship. And we don't want that. So we've made a rule that, there is no tension in the relationship. It's more of a congratulations. Like, that's so awesome that you were able to do that. That's so cool you were able to do that with your money. There's no resentment there, right? It's this power you get as well. So I definitely recommend managing your money. All right. All right. So here we got another one. Before we do that, let's put one hand up, the other hand up. Give yourself a massive high five and say, I'm on the fastest path to becoming financially free. I'm on the fastest path to becoming financially free. All right, so let's see. All right, so we got a couple more questions here, and I'm gonna get through them. So, is it worth working longer hours or switching jobs to reach my financial goals? So the answer is it really depends. It depends on how important your financial goals are to you in your life. And it also depends on your job that you're doing right now. And it also depends on the job that you could possibly be switching to. So one of the biggest lessons that I've specifically learned in my life that didn't work out for me was that chasing the hottest and greatest and trendiest thing to make the most money is almost a sure way to fail in what you're doing. All right? Unless there's an unless there. There's a way that this works. Unless that trend, that job, that business that people are making good money in speaks to you, is something that you're skilled in, something that you have some skills in, something that you have some passion in, something that you feel attached to, and something that you like to do. So we like to say your job or career or your business should meet your head, your heart, and your hands, and also be in demand in the marketplace, right? Because people can make money in anything that they want to do. You pick the best at whatever it is, anything. You pick the best landscaper, you pick the best contractor, you pick the best person to make desks, whatever it is. Doesn't matter what it is. If you're the best and you're good at it, you're going to make a lot of money. So, do I recommend switching jobs or switching careers to make more money? Again, it depends on what you're going to do. That's the first part. The second part is, yes, I recommend it if you're in a position where you can't reach your financial goals in your current situation. So, you need to put yourself in a position to win, and you can't expect things to automatically get better if you're not in that position. If you are in a job that's $20 an hour and never will earn more than $20 an hour, and you want to become financially free, it's going to be very difficult for you to become financially free. You need to put yourself in a position to be able to succeed. You need to earn more money so that you can invest that money. Now, do you have to make $1 million? No. But you need to put yourself in a better position to succeed. Okay? So if your goal is to become financially free and you're not in a position right now to make a good grip of money, good amount of money, and you're stuck at a salary level that's not gonna cut it, then yes, I recommend switching. But I would be very, very careful on what you switch to, because you want to make sure that you are liking what you're doing, so you're motivated to show up every day, so you do well in what you're doing. If you're doing well what you're doing, then you're going to make more money, you're going to excel in what you're doing, and everything works better, right? All right, put your hand up. Put your other hand up. Give yourself a high five and say, I'm on the fastest track to becoming financially free. All right, I'm on the fastest track to become financially free. Put it in the comments. Woo! All right, thank you so much. You are awesome. Thank you for sticking with me. For anyone who's continuing to watch this, I appreciate it. I hope you're loving what you're seeing. Hope you're getting a lot out of it, and you're either learning, you were reminded of some stuff, or you're confirming some great things in your life and the direction that you're going. All right, so another question here. What should be the strategy? How much save to start investing in real estate? So a very specific question, but it can be for anything. How much should I save to invest in the stock market? How much should I save to invest in this other person's business. Real estate is just the vehicle, so don't think about it in any other way. This also person put is $70,000 to $100,000 a good starting point to get into to some sense of financial freedom in real estate, or do you need much more? So if I'm going to talk about real estate specifically, because I have a lot of experience with it, my first business that I started in my low 20s, I was in private money, and we did real estate backed assets. We did hard money lending, so I have a lot of obviously experience with real estate itself. That was my first $1 million company that did amazing, and it was awesome. It wasn't something that I was super passionate about, so I didn't continue it. But it was a great first experience in it. Also worked with a company during the 2008 era of buying and flipping distressed assets. So I do have a lot of experience with the real estate. So the $70,000 to $100,000 is a good start. Yes, it is a good start. It's actually a great start to have that. It's better than nothing, and it's better than most people. You know, if you can buy a low income or a low price home anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000, which is all over the United States, and especially in certain specific areas, then you only have to put 20% down. So $100,000 at 20% is only $20,000. So what, you can buy 3-4 different homes possibly that could possibly give you cash flow. So the goal is, if you're going to do this, is you want to yeah, you can definitely do this. Now if you want to put more money down, what you want to be looking for in real estate is you want to look for homes that have equity built into them. So if the home you're buying is worth $200,000, you want to look for a home that's has $25,000 to $50,000 in equity already built in when you come into it, or more, so that when you do fix it up, or when you do get it to the place where you want it to get to, you can refinance it from the equity itself, and then take that equity position and put it into a down payment for another home. And that's how you leverage and continue to build and build and build. And obviously you need to put yourself in a good situation here. You need to obviously have cash flow coming in so you can pay your mortgage. You need to be in a positive situation. So there's lots of techniques and strategies to do it, but that's one of them, of how you can get started with the amount of money, whatever amount of money, and then continue to build your portfolio over time by accumulating equity, refinancing it, and then putting that equity that you pulled out of it into another property as a down payment. So that's one of the strategies you can do this. But so $70,000 to $100,000 is great. That's the first thing. The second thing is, like, you really don't need money to invest in these other properties, especially if you want to make it more of a full-time thing. So there's two parts to investing. There's the money part and there's the time part, okay? So the money part is you have to have the capital to obviously pay for the investments. No getting around that. In some way, the bank, you, a partner, lending, whatever it is, there's got to be some sort of financing that comes with the investing part. Then there's the time element. You got to find the deals. You have to put the effort in. You have to study and make sure that you find the right market, and then you put them together. So if you don't have the money, you got to have the time, right? You're gonna have to have the time. So if you can put in the time, figure out how to find the best deals, learn, educate yourself, and put the time in, then finding the money is actually not as hard as you think it probably is. It's just about expanding your networks, about learning where these people hang out. There's lots of softwares of finding cash investors, actually, direct mailing them, and looking at and reaching out to real estate brokers, asking them if they have cash buyers. There's so many different opportunities for you to be able to do that. So having the time is going to get you involved in investments as well. All right, let's put one hand up. The other hand up. Give yourself a massive high five. Say, I am awesome. All right, I screwed that one up. Let's put one hand up. The other hand up. Say, I'm on the fastest track to becoming financially free. I'm on the fast track to becoming financially free. All right, you're awesome. Thank you for your participation. All right, so we have one more question. All right, let me pull this up so I can actually see what it is. All right. So, for the last 20 years, I am a stay-at-home mom with 5 kids. Wow, it's a lot. I'm about to have my first one, so 5 sounds like a lot. I did lots of personal development, and I only started getting serious about financial independence in the last couple of years. My question is, where do I start on possible pathways to achieve financial independence in the next 3 to 7 years? So, first of all, is it possible to achieve financial independence or financial freedom in the next 3 to 7 years? Absolutely. We actually teach people how to achieve it within 3 to 5 years using Harv's 8 elements. So where do you start? The place where you start is learning from people or someone who's in the position you want to be. You do not want to take advice from someone who's not in the position you want to be. So if you want to become financially free, you should learn and study and model people who are financially free and successful. You should not be taking advice from someone who is broke or not living the life you really want. So the fastest way to achieve the result you want in expedited speed is to learn, study, and model from people who are in the position you want to be. Successful people use what we call leverage. They use other people to help scale and grow and do things that most people can't do. Unsuccessful people tend to try to do everything themselves. I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna do the trial and error way. I'm gonna learn it, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna learn it from experience only, right? Unsuccessful people always try to do it all themselves. Successful people use other people and use them to their advantage. They take someone who's in the position, they learn from them, they use their strategies and methods, they test them out, they make corrections, they continue taking actions, and they learn from people who are in that position so that they can expedite their own success. All right? So the fastest way that you're going to be able to achieve this financial freedom is to learn, study, and model from someone, and model someone who's in the position you want to be in. All right? So for some of you, that is going to be T. Harv Eker. And the way that that's possible is next week we actually have a web class that Harv is airing. It's going to teach you the 8 critical elements that you need to have in place to become financially free and to actually get on the fast track to freedom. If you have these 8 elements in place and you're continuously working within these 8 elements, you will become financially free. And our goal is to teach you how to become financially free in the next 3 to 5 years. For some of you who have been on this plan of the 20, 30, 40 year track of becoming retiring and maybe never getting there, 3 to 5 years sounds like a very short amount of time, and it is. It really is in a relative amount. So if you know what to do, you know exactly what to do from someone who's actually achieved it and now can teach from their own experience, that's the way that you're gonna have the fastest success. So our team is gonna put a link in here that you can go ahead and register for the class. I'd love if you want to join us and learn from Harv. This is going to be Harv actually teaching the class, not me. So you get to experience the class with Harv. And if Harv isn't that person, then find someone who is. Either way, we want the best for you. We want to make sure that you're going the right path. So the key here is don't listen to anyone who's not in the position you want to be in. If you want to lose, 30 pounds, don't get advice from someone who's extremely overweight and never lost weight before. You can get advice from someone who's lost 30 pounds before. That would be excellent. Or you can get advice from someone who's lost 30 pounds and is extremely fit, right? So, a financial advisor, a financial advisor, someone who has never made any money, works on commission. How can you trust that person is putting you in the right direction? You can't, really, because they made no money themselves. How are they supposed to know it? Maybe they're training from other people, but you need to really watch who you're listening from. You want to listen and take advice from people who are in the position you want to be. High net worth individuals, financial freedom, financially free individuals, people who are in the position you want to be. All right, that's it. Give yourself a high five and say, I'm on the fast track to becoming financially free. Awesome, thank you so much. Now, I really appreciate you sticking with me, sticking through this video. I hope you learned a lot. Now, the main thing is write down some of this stuff, or hopefully you've been taking notes, or you can rewatch this. Write down something you learned maybe today, something you confirmed or were reminded of. What's one thing that you learned, confirmed, or reminded of today? What's one thing right now? And also, I want you to think of, let's make this actionable. What's one action you could take right now within the next 24 hours? What's one action you could take within 24 hours from the information that I covered today. There's a lot of information that I covered today. So what's one action you could take within 24 hours to get you on momentum, to get you moving in the right direction, to get you got confidence, to get you, building that momentum so that you can get on the fast track to financial freedom. Maybe it's registering for Harv's webinar. Maybe it's doing the money management. Maybe it's calculating your financial freedom number. Whatever it is, make sure you take an action, because it's not all about learning. It's about learning and doing. It's about learning and applying. Learning is bullshit if you can't apply what you're learning. Again, my name is Jesse Ecker. I appreciate you guys listening and tuning in here. Hopefully you got a lot of value out of it. I love coming to the Harv Ecker community. You guys are amazing. Having an amazing rest of your day. Don't wait on what you learned today, and make sure you take action. Bye for now, and I will see you soon. Talk to you soon.